Mark, as you look at that balance of near-term stimulus to drive some spending, but then also this long-term investment, and I know you've spent some time in Washington talking and testifying down there recently. How do you see striking that right balance of fixing some of our economic structural problems with the economy, but at the same time creating that confidence in spending?
Well, I think that's why we need spending increases and tax cuts. The spending increases generally, when we're specifically talking about infrastructure spending or aid to the educational system, that'll take a while to have an impact, a benefit to the economy. I think we should do it because the economy is going to have difficulty for a while. This isn't a 2009 problem. This is a long-term problem. So we, even though it's going to take a while to get that infrastructure dollar into the economy, if it comes in 2010, we'll still need it, and that's great. And it has a big, what's being called bang for the buck. It creates a lot of jobs, a lot of income, and fundamentally that's most important for retailing, it's jobs. But I do think we need the tax cuts because even though they don't provide the same economic bang for the buck, they're not as efficacious, they do, as Mike said, can get into the economy quickly and make a difference, and we need help quickly in spring, summer of 2009. So the balance that's being discussed is, say it's a $750 billion package, $450 billion is spending, $300 billion is tax cuts. That feels about right to me, the right balance. And that's, while the actual number will probably be larger than that, it'll be split roughly along those lines, and I think that's appropriate.
The last tax cuts we had, or the stimulus checks we had a year ago, most of that did not make its way, though, into spending.
Now, I disagree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is not the consensus view, but I think the consensus view is wrong because we're looking at aggregate data and it's incomplete. My view of what happened was, for everyone who doesn't know, or you probably do know, we got $100 billion in tax rebates, right? Refundable tax rebate checks back in the spring. And it didn't feel like it really followed through in terms of consumer spending. The thing that happened was that high-income households who did not get the rebate check actually raised their saving rate during that period. They were very nervous, like everyone else, and because high-income households save more than anybody else by a significant order of magnitude, they offset the spending that was done by lower-income households who did receive the rebate. So when you look at the total spending that occurred, you say, oh, nothing happened. But in fact, think about the counterfactual. What would the world look like if that rebate had not occurred? In my view, the spending would have been measurably lower. The spring of 08 and summer of 08, instead of we sitting there debating whether there was a recession or not, there would have been no debate about it. In my view, tax rebates can be efficacious and helpful, and we shouldn't use the incomplete data and analysis we've got based on last spring's rebate to conclude that it's not useful when designing this stimulus package.
But then I think you see stimulus like the NRF proposal, which is also a tax rebate of sorts, that also can spur spending more directly because you have to spend to get it.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm just kind of throwing it out there as.
Well, in my view, if I were going to rank order the things I would do, and I know this isn't going to be popular in the room, I would put that at the low end of the rank order, only because.
That's why we put Economist in the low rank of.
Yes, I know. I knew. I'm sorry.
That's why he's over there, right?
I was hoping he wasn't going to ask me. No, this is in my view the key thing for retail is jobs and confidence. It's jobs. We've got to figure out what will create the most jobs the quickest. And I'm not saying it won't help. I'm just saying it's not as effective as some of the other things that we're talking about.
We agree with that.